For the first time this season, the Colorado Avalanche are going to face some serious adversity. So which direction will it take them? Let's talk about that on a new episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day, and for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in the country. And if you want to get in on our conversation, join our Everydayers Club. You get access to our subtext channel where we share your opinions and thoughts right on the episode. You get access to our Discord server as well, chat with other like-minded Avalanche fans, and get exclusive content that Zach and I put up weekly that you can only get if you are an everyday subscriber. So subscribe to that today. All right, so we're going to get to our power rankings, our opponent power rankings, which you do on a weekly basis. We're going to talk about the power play. I usually don't like looking into the crystal ball, like doing that type of conversation, but I'll bite. Why not?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But where we're going to start, we're going to dive right in here to, the more of the Gabe Landeskog talk, because it's a big deal, right? You know, we didn't get word just yet on not what the injury is, just like the duration of it. We didn't get the week-to-week, month-to-month thing yet.
Yeah.
The only thing we've gotten is that they've sent him home, which
is actually really good news in my as far as things are considered, because if it was, I think so. I think so.
I mean, I guess that means he's not going to play for the rest of this road trip.
It's not good news for the future. How's that? But where I'm seeing, you don't have to sit in a hospital for 3 days while they're continuing to check and make sure that you're good enough to go home. To me, that it's still going to be a long injury. I'm not saying, he's returning quick.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to push super long in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he got to go home. That's a good thing in my book. I like that.
So it's probably, we already know what it is. Send him home, and we can start whatever treatments he needs to start now.
Exactly.
Why wait? Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
And it's not so we know what it is, and it's not so serious that he needs to stay in the hospital in Florida for 5 days.
Right.
So I'm trying to take this. I'm going to be my eternal optimistic self. Eventually that will be hard to do, but for right now, we're going to keep it up.
You are, a lot of the online medical students, again, present company included, you're just kind of like surmising on what this is. Ribs. And if it is ribs, 6 to 8 weeks, you're getting all that stuff. Okay. If you want to go down that road, worst case scenario, we're looking at early March. Okay.
Yeah.
That gives you time to get some games under your belt before the playoffs start. So I don't want to go too much down there because we didn't get a number yet, or that, like I said, like that week to week or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Once we get that, we can start kind of like throwing out, okay, this is what possibly it could be. But where this lies with me is, every team goes through injuries. Every team goes through adversity. For the Avs, for the most part, it's not like they haven't had to deal with some injuries. Right off the start of the season, you had Mackenzie Blackwood dealing with an injury. So you've had them, but for the most part, it's been smooth sailing for the Avalanche up until this point. Just look at their record. They haven't really had to face much adversity, and the minor adversities that they've had, they've obviously been able to overcome them. And now you have some injuries getting thrown your way that are interesting enough to say, like, okay, how much could this affect the Avs? How much could this affect them going forward? Because, and you want to start with Gabe Landeskog. Clearly, let's start with him. We've seen what he means to this team. We've seen what he means, just coming back this year. Is this record solely because of him? No, but it's a big part of it. It's a big slice of that pie. So, you have that. You have the Devon Toews thing, which did they say for Toews he's week to week? Did we get that from the Avs? I feel like I saw that somewhere. I don't remember where.
I haven't seen it yet. So,
but regardless, he's hurt too. But start with the Gabe one. Like this, like I said, this is like some adversity that the Avalanche have not had to deal with yet. And I think this is kind of an important point for the Avs right now, because you're gonna get people focusing in on the record, like the record before Gabe's injury and the record post Gabe's injury. And if it's not good, people are going to point to that and be like, they need him back, which clearly you're going to need him back anyway. Even if your record's great, you're going to want him back. But what are you thinking?
Man, it's really hard for me to tell because I don't know. This team feels just so talented and so deep that because obviously Gabe's presence added a whole bunch to it, but this could be like a, I don't know, galvanizing moment, I suppose, where the team sort of rallies around him and they're like, okay, we know you're out. We're going to keep this rolling so that when you come back in, we're still in a great position. Mm-hmm. It also could have a super negative effect or negative. I think the team's too talented for it to be a complete implosion. But the pace that they're on, I think we're about to see it drop decently. Not completely off, but I definitely think it's about to drop. So it's really hard to tell, though, because Gabe brought so many intangibles that I just don't know how it's going to translate with him not there for the games.
Do you feel like, so we'll get to power rankings later, obviously, but your next game is against Tampa. Yep. Tampa has really turned things around. They're playing fantastic hockey. Like with the loss of just Gabe Landeskog, forget Devon Toews part of it, with just Gabe Landeskog, and this being, the first game post his injury, do you go into that game a little bit differently? Like the feeling, because you've been going into every game thinking we can win this game. And I'm not saying you don't go into this game because you have a great team. I'm not saying you don't go into the game thinking that you can't beat Tampa, but does Gabe Landeskog hold that much weight, and with how he's been playing and what he's proven this year, that you go into the Tampa game, maybe I'll say not as confident? You can still be confident, but maybe not as confident solely because Gabe Landeskog's not there. Or are you not there yet?
I think I'm still the team has to implode before I don't feel confident anymore. Like you said, they've had not huge injuries, but a few decent injuries that they've had to deal with. And I'm not ready to throw a game that started 22 hours after the game before started and take that as okay, you lost your captain and here's the situation. Mm-hmm. I feel less confident. I'm not ready to do that yet. Now, if they do go out there and lose to Tampa Bay, I'm still not going to be ready for that because, like you said, Tampa is a very good team. And a lot of people agree with that right now. So you could absolutely go out there and lose to Tampa Bay, and I'm still going to feel very confident in the team winning a majority of their games. I think if you can go out there and win against Tampa Bay, you feel just about as invincible. What? That's not even a word. Invincible as you could possibly feel going forward. And I think this will be a great tell for what the playoffs could potentially be. And not because we'll have injuries, but because if you can rally yourselves around losing a player as important as Gabe and still go out and play excellent hockey against a very, very good team, then you go into playoffs with so much more confidence. Still 4 months away, obviously, but in my opinion, you can pinpoint back to a moment like this at the beginning of those and say, hey, we won that game with this going on, losing our number 2 defenseman and our captain, mainly our captain, and you still came out and beat Tampa. You can beat anybody in a 7-game series, especially. So I think this game will tell a lot, but it's going to have to be a few games before I'm ready to be like, okay, there's a we need him back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's the proper way to view it is, let's get a couple weeks of games without him and see where we're at, see what's different. But that's not going to happen. Like, if they go out and they lose to Tampa, and worst case scenario, they lose bad, people are immediately going to turn to the Gabe Landeskog effect. Immediately turn to that. And that would be unfair, because this will be your first real, if they lose in regulation, regulation losing streak. And, we're beginning of January, and that's when they'd have their first. And then now we're going to just completely flip on the Avalanche. I know we're talking about things that haven't happened yet, but I think that's just the reality of the situation is people see the importance of him, and they're not going to give him like you would or I would and say like, hey, let's see where we are. Let's say the rest of the month. Let's go till the Olympic break. Let's see how things were for that long. We'll give them that latitude. A lot of people won't. A lot of people would be like, no, like since the injury, they've struggled. It's related to Landeskog, much like the Valnichuskin injury, and when he's not there and when he is there.
Well, and those people have a valid point. And what I would say is that's going to be, I think, a big media talking point if there is some struggle. I think a lot of media people, especially outside of Colorado, will be saying that. And I would say if you're a fan, you're listening to this show, just hold on to the fact that this team is still extremely talented, regardless of how the next 2 or 3 games go. Because the immediate reeling effect may be different. Give it some time before you start to really evaluate like anything else. And I mean, honestly, if they do go on some kind of losing streak, which hopefully not, knock on wood,
right,
but if they do, I would say you definitely can't. Then you have to point to Gabe though and be like, yeah, that guy is clearly
that important
to the rest of this roster.
Yep. And no, I do not see anything on Devon Toews on a week-to-week thing. So him and Gabe are kind of the same boat right now, or we are in the same boat right now when it comes to them too. On how long we don't know. We kind of have a idea for Gabe, but no official word, and really nothing on Toews. So we'll have to see. All right, let's get a break in here. And as much as I said, I don't like, talking about things that haven't happened yet, and I just did it a bunch in segment number 1. Let's do it for segment number 2 as well. Let's talk about this power play. And looking into the crystal ball, things don't go the Avalanche way this year. Is it going to be solely because of this power play that just seems to just continue to struggle? So let's talk about that after this. All right, let's hear from Rocket Money. Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming between subscriptions that you forgot about, bills that keep going up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes every month. It's easy to feel like you're losing control. And who has time to track every transaction or hunt down hidden fees? That's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. You have to love how it tracks all your subscriptions and lets you cancel them right in the app with just a few taps. No more hunting down customer service numbers. And let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join rocketmoney.com/locked on. Once again, it's rocketmoney.com/locked on. One more time, rocketmoney.com/locked on. Go join them today. All right. A lot of people just continue to not be happy about this power play. And I think we all are. I don't think there's anybody that's out there that's like, I've been a defender of it in that I thought that it has looked good. Yeah. But as of late, that's not even on the table. It hasn't looked good for the past handful of games. Yeah. So I thought the way that it was playing and the way that they were moving pucks around, getting shots on net, the dam would break at some point. Pucks would start going in. But now it just has looked. Yeah, I mean, you had those two in the third period against Carolina, which were beautiful.
Yeah.
Outside of that, lately it has been an absolute dog.
Yeah.
And will this be what dooms the Avs? Not in the regular season, because we're cruising along just fine here. And you can't point to too many games where it's caused you a loss, because Avs don't have a ton of them, at least in regulation. But right now, I think people are forgiving it to an extent. But I think the tipping point is here, where it's like, improve this, make this better, because if you don't, it's going to kill you in the playoffs. That's what's going to kill you in the playoffs.
Agreed. It really is going to be. Riker went off on it on the post game after Florida, and rightfully so. And I think I am not a high-paid hockey coach. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to all of the fine folks listening to this
yes, you would.
show.
Yes, you would.
That's true. I would definitely still be. Yeah,
of course you would.
But
yeah.
I'd be Jack Adams contender and still be. On the show.
Did you see that graphic? By the way,
that's why I threw that in there.
Hey, now.
Bedsy with the chance. But no, I don't know what the solution is to fix it. But it just feels like the Avs are like, okay, drop pass, charge towards the line, maybe make a pass from MacKinnon over to insert one of the guys that you have on the line with MacKinnon and attempt to carry it through. But they have two moves. It's MacKinnon goes through, or MacKinnon passes it over to the other side of the blue line. And it feels like when that doesn't work, they reset, then they drop it to MacKinnon, who tries to go through just a little faster or tries to pass it just a little harder. And none of it is working. But it really feels like the definition of insanity of just doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I'm sure they're doing things differently, and some brilliant hockey mind can break down like, oh, well, here's how they actually tried to do it different a little bit and get things set. But none of it is working. And I think that's the biggest thing. By the time they finally get set up, they're basically done with the power play. They haven't exhausted the penalty killers whatsoever, because they can just get 3 changes during the power play. It's like, you have to do something else. And come playoff time, when you have teams that are going to be playing really tight games, like, there's not going to be big blowouts in the playoffs, I don't think. Like, that power play, when you get an opportunity, you're going to have to take advantage of it. It has to happen. And so it doomed you last year. I don't want to be doom and gloom right now, but I feel you have to fix this before the end of the regular season.
And there is still time to do that. You have half the season left to go and correct that, right? So there is time. My concern is, like I said, like, recently it just has not looked good. And I've been critical of that drop back pass for years. And they had things, they were showing different looks. They've started doing the double drop back pass this year, which, okay, I mean, it's a different look. But every once in a while, when you see, like, if Cale Makar is going to be one to drop it back and they're giving him space and he just says, screw it, I'm taking it. Like, you love to see that. Because it's okay. Wow. Like, he thought of something different on the fly. So you love seeing that. Right now, I think their mindset of what needs to change is just the players on power play 1 and the players on power play 2. That's all the change that they've done. I've also noticed, like, they seem to not really be moving around as much anymore when they do gain the zone and they're passing the puck around. Early in the year, you had Martin Necas really all over the place. You had Nathan MacKinnon all over the place. And we've gone back to, and maybe that's because the results were not there. They've gone back to, all right, Nathan MacKinnon is just setting up shop on the left-hand side. And Necas on the other side, and let's just pass around the perimeter. We'll get, if they leave a little seam for the bumper, we'll go there. They, even in the last game, were able to get it to the bumper spot with, like, Landeskog, who passed it out of the bumper spot.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just nobody seems sure of themselves anymore. I didn't think we'd get to this point, because I liked what I saw early in the season. The results were not there, but they seem to have gotten away from all of that and just changed the players who are on power play 1, power play 2. I see a lot of comments about already, the comments were there in October when the power play was struggling, of getting rid of Dave Hakstol. He was there. He's been there for 2 months at that time, and people already get rid of him. I don't think he's the problem, people. Like, what are you going to do? If firing a coach and bringing a new coach was going to solve the problem, they would have done that.
I do agree with that.
This is a player thing for me. Like, what can you do? You can't draw. I mean, you can draw up different plays just to give them different looks to gain the zone. In the end, when you have players of this caliber and are trucking along at, what are we at? 16%, 16.3%.
Yeah.
That's not all coaching, people. Like,
no,
it's okay to come down on Cale Makar. It's okay to come down on Nathan MacKinnon, because they're coming down on themselves. I can guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, they are for sure. And like, I don't think that I'm thrilled with the job that Dave Hakstol's done. I definitely defended him at the beginning of the season because it was too early for me to say no. But this far into the season and this poor of results, I'm not thrilled with him. But I listen to Altitude Sports Radio, and Vic Lombardi on there in the morning show says something that really resonates with me, especially with situations like this. Players play. Mm-hmm. It's not the coaches. It's absolutely the players. And I mean, it goes through every single sport. It's the same thing. He'll talk about it with the Nuggets. He'll talk about it with the Broncos, and we talk about it with the Avs. Players are the ones who play. Like, ultimately, Dave Hakstol is not out there passing up on a shot and trying to make the prettier opportunity. He's not the one getting it out of the bumper. He's not the one standing still in one spot. It's possible. It is possible that he is coaching them to do that. I don't think so, because like you said, at the beginning of the season, it looked different. It looked more dynamic. So and maybe he is, I don't know, but I fully agree with the sentiment that with this much talent, they should be scoring. The players should be doing better. And again, I don't know how to fix it. Otherwise, I'd probably make a lot more money than I do. But it's
like you said, like, players play, and when the players fail, it falls back on the coaches.
Yeah,
that's just the reality of the situation. And the other part of it is Dave Hakstol is also in charge of the penalty kill, which is number 1 in the league.
Right.
So do we want to give him credit for that, or do we want to give credit to the players in that? You can't give credit to the players for the penalty kill and then not blame them for the power play. It doesn't work both ways. So he's got something going right for the penalty kill, at least.
Yeah. I agree. It's I think
we agree it needs to get fixed.
Yes.
They still have time. Like, okay,
they do.
Half the year is what is it? Is this game 42?
My biggest fear, though, biggest fear is they still have time throughout the year. Kind of feels like what the Denver Broncos were saying about their offense throughout every single game, and yet the offense still did not look great. But it wrapped up the number 1 seed for the Broncos, so we'll see how the playoffs go there. So, absolutely. I mean, I guess that's what we're looking at with the power play. The power play is the Denver Broncos offense.
And we want it to be better, but I think we also, with how the Avalanche are playing, want everything that they do right now to be top notch. Which I'm not saying, I'm not trying to excuse this. I'm not, but I feel like if the Avs were, the way the Avs are playing, they're anything other than number 1 for the power play, it's a failure.
Yeah.
I think some people feel that way. To me, like, no, 16.3% is not acceptable. You should be in the top 10. Give me top 10, and I think everybody is quiet about this. So
at this point, give me top half. If you can turn it around from where you're at and just get to like 15th.
You want Sweet 16 so you can make the graphic and not be anything. You don't want to be higher than number 5, because then you wouldn't make the graphic if the NHL did. Right. So that's all you want, is just be Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, great segue.
There we go.
That was not planned, by the way. Let's get into those, sir. We're going to get into Zach's opponent power rankings for the week. Who do we got? Let's do that next. All right. Beginning of every week, Zach looks up the power rankings from the Avs opponents for this week on various websites, including his own. So if you want to get his own 1 through 32, that is over on our Everydayers Club all access tier. So go subscribe to that. He puts them out usually on Fridays. I think you've been
Fridays is the day they come out. They are a significant amount of brain power, especially I feel like this season. Beyond like the bottom 3 and the top 5, it's so difficult to place those people. So
I appreciate it.
If you are watching, yes, please do understand. I do take a lot of time in trying to figure out where each of these teams fits in to this puzzle.
All right, well, let's start this thing. We're first of all, opponents for the week are who we got? Tampa
Bay Lightning, the Ottawa Senators, and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
All right, so where are we starting this week?
We are going to start with Tampa Bay and the hockey guy. So just 2 quick notes before I go on. I added in last week's rankings, so I'll just briefly mention that too, so we can tell who's like what direction they're trending week over week as well.
Gotcha.
And I also swapped out the Athletic because they have not done a power rankings in 3 weeks, and instead of just using an old one, I pulled Bleacher Report because that seemed like a recent post and decent one to put in. So we'll start with the hockey guy. He of course has the Avs at 1. Tampa Bay Lightning, he's got them at 3, moving up from 10 last week.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're on a 7-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So the now with the Avalanche loss, that is the best winning streak going in the league.
Is.
Yeah. Yep. So okay. So yeah. This is I'm assuming they're all going to be top 5. I'm assuming that.
All but one apparently not intelligent Locked On Avalanche host. I do not have them.
Oh man. Wow. Okay. So go ahead.
To be fair, again, it's after Thursday night's games. It doesn't include Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So
fair enough.
They're a little more recent and they're adjusting. They've been moving up a lot throughout the season.
All right.
Next we've got Ottawa. Sorry, my brain just totally shut off for a hot second there. Ottawa for the hockey guy, 20 this week, 20 last week, so no movement.
Moved. All right.
And then the Columbus Blue Jackets, 29 this week, 30 last week. So incremental upward movement.
All right. Yeah, overall, I'm looking at Columbus. 43 points on the season. So, but again, like with their
and they're still,
if they were in the West, they'd have a playoff spot, right?
Yes, they would. Not only that, but they're still only 6 points out of a playoff spot in the East.
With and they're in dead last in the East.
Yep. And yeah, they would be no, they are not in a playoff spot right now.
No.
In the West. If you slot
they're not.
Nope.
So they're tied.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Points wise, yeah, they'd be tied. They would be. Well, I don't know. They're tied with points with Seattle, the Kings, and the Sharks.
Yes.
Who all have 43.
But they have an extra game played, so they would not be in the spot right now.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, that's ultra semantics. It's still crazy that the dead last team in the East would be battling for that spot.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So moving on to ESPN again, Avalanche at number 1. Number 1 last week. For the Avs, it's 1-1. 1 this week, 1 last week, and that's what it is. They have Tampa Bay Lightning at 5. Last week, 7.
Okay.
They have the Ottawa Senators 20. Last week, 23. So a little bit of upwards movement for Ottawa.
Okay.
And then they have Columbus 25, last week 24. So a step backwards for Ottawa.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Don't have any real issues with any of these so far.
Nope.
Okay.
Bleacher Report. They have the Tampa Bay Lightning, again, Avs 1-1. Tampa Bay Lightning at 4, last week 11.
Wow. Big increase. Okay.
They have Ottawa at 19 last week, 15. So they had a pretty significant drop there.
That's a little surprising. Okay.
And then they have Columbus 25 and 25.
Okay. Wow. I don't really think Ottawa has done anything to drop that many spaces. And I'm trying to look to see who they could have put up. But that, I mean, because that's in that area where you don't get a ton of movement.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, what is it? What you said, 15 to 18?
They went from they were up 19 from 15. Or sorry, down 19 from 15. Sorry.
Yeah, 15 to 19. Okay.
Yep. So
right.
Yeah, I think it might be more to do with the teams that pass them as well. I don't know the other teams off the top of my head. Going on to NHL.com though.
Yeah.
Avs again, 1-1.
Yep.
NHL has the Lightning at 5, last week at 8.
Okay.
They have Ottawa with an infinite percentage drop and not ranked at all, no votes whatsoever. And they were 15 last week.
Okay.
So I was actually really surprised because they had them, pretty high, but they got no votes this week. And then Columbus is just floating off in the abyss somewhere, according to NHL. They don't count. Which NHL, again, we say this every week, but very rude of them to just kick you out like that.
I don't get it.
Yep.
I don't get it. I'm looking at the Senators schedule. So prior to before the Christmas break, they lost to the Sabres in overtime. After 2 games after Christmas, they lost to Toronto and they lost to the Blue Jackets. And they've won their last 2 games. They beat Washington 4-3, and they beat the Jets, who are just imploding. So, but again, I don't think there's anything there where you're really dropping them. But okay, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Mine dropped a couple of spots for Ottawa as well. But so then we'll have the Hockey Writers is our last non-Locked On Avalanche ranking. Again, Avs 1-1. They have Tampa Bay at 3 this week from 7 last week.
Okay.
They have Ottawa at 12 from 17 last week.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the opposite end of
that was a
lot
big
of movement from Ottawa.
That
a lot of them are setting them down. These guys sent them up. Okay.
By 5 too. And then they had Columbus 28 last week, 28 this week.
All right. 12 for Ottawa. That's high.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. And then we got you.
And then we've got me. So Avs number one.
Yep.
I had Tampa Bay at their low spot on the board. Tampa Bay fans, please tell me how wrong I am. I have them at 9 right now.
Oh, Zachary. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But I had them at 16. So they jumped up 7 spots from the week before. And
I guess if you take that into account,
again, they are on a move, and they've won a couple more games since then. So I do try to shift these every morning. I wake up, shower, pour my coffee, do power rankings. That's my morning routine. So we'll see where they are come this Friday. But yes, they jumped up 7 spots for me from 16 to 9.
Where do you have? I mean, I'm spoiling this for I don't throw them all out there. I want people to go check out your full rankings.
Yeah.
Where do you have the Islanders out of curiosity?
At 10 right now.
Oh,
as of Fridays. Yep.
Okay. Just
so
curious. I didn't know if you'd have them with the Lightning as low as you have them. I didn't know if you had put the Islanders like one above them. You have them one below them. Okay.
No, and
all right.
The teams above. I feel like I can justify where I've got everybody pretty solidly. Like I said, though, after about the top 6, I'm it's difficult right now because
struggle. No, it is real. I mean, yeah, you have them at 9, but all these other places have them at 3, 4, 5, and you can justify that too. So, but you can justify the teams you have above Tampa at 9 and make a case for them. So, and it is kind of a logjam up there. It is.
Sometimes, like this week, there might be some significant movement up in my top after the top 2. There might be some good movement. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
I had Ottawa last week at 18. I moved them up or down, to 21.
Okay.
And most of that was because a couple of teams moved up above them, such as Calgary and San Jose, had to force them back down a little bit.
Okay.
Not telling you where they were. You got to go subscribe for that. And then Columbus, I had them last week at 30. I moved them up by 1 to 29.
So nice of you to do that.
Honestly, there's probably a Western Conference team or two that could still be even below Columbus there, but Columbus is having a really rough go of it right now.
Yeah, they're 5-4-1 their last 10. They've lost 1 in a row. But still wild to think the team that, is towards the bottom of these rankings is not that far off from a playoff spot. I think that's less about them playing like poor and just the strength of the East.
Yeah, really is.
You got to put them somewhere. And if they're at the bottom of those standings, unfortunately, they're going to be towards the bottom of power rankings too. It's weird to say, like, a team that's that low is not horrible. They're not terrible. But they don't have enough going for them, I think, to be much higher than that spot that pretty much everybody's got them is the low 20s. That seems to be about the right spot. Yep. So averages for the week, Avs are 1. Tampa Bay is 5, up from 10. Okay.
Ottawa is 18, down from 16.
Okay.
And Columbus is 27, and their average last week was also 27.
So there you go. There's a week where very strong team, middle of the road team, and then another middle of the road. But as far as the rankings go, on the low end.
Yep.
Yeah. So gonna be another interesting week.
It is indeed. And like I said, I think that's why this injury will tell a lot over the next couple of games, especially starting with this Tampa Bay Lightning game today, if you're listening to this on Tuesday.
And obviously that game is on the road, but the Sens game and the Blue Jackets game are back at home.
Both at home, yep.
Yeah, just seem to be winning everything. So always good to be back at home.
Yes.
All right. There you go. There's your opponent power rankings and averages for the week. How do you feel about them? Throw them out. Throw out your predictions for the week in the comments section over on YouTube, or join our subtext and let us know over there. I do have there were a couple subtexters who threw out their predictions for this game. Hoffakorn says 4-3 Avs and nobody gets injured. That's where we're at right now. He's talking about how we started this episode. That's where the mindset is for Avs fans right now, is just like, let's get through games, let's win them and not have any serious injuries. I'll give Madam Battleaxe, hey, she's being honest. Doesn't think that they're going to win this game. She says 3-2 Tampa Bay. And even Jake says 3-2 Tampa Bay. I hate to say it, but these new lines are going to take some getting used to. We might be in for a little bit of a roller coaster ride this week. I hope that I'm wrong. So
it's possible. Honestly, a 3-2 loss, especially if you found a way to force it to overtime against Tampa Bay right after losing your captain, I'd still feel pretty decent about that.
Yep. Mark says 3-2 Avs in OT. Makar with the game winner.
All right.
And then Laura says it's a Ross Colton legacy game.
Okay.
Not literally, but he's my dude. Roscoe, please don't break your foot again. Was that the game he broke his foot? Was it against Tampa? When he took it on like the inside of his foot?
Yeah.
But hey, anytime you play your old team, guys seem to get up a little bit more for those. And if anybody needs a goal right now, it's Ross Colton.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
Against his former team, I can see it happening. So let's do that.
I agree. Let's do it.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for today. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I'm Chris Micieli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow after the game, where, of course, you will have made it through another 24 hours, where Sidney Crosby is that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche, even though the Pittsburgh Penguins are in a playoff spot right now.
My goodness.